Wonderful. Welcome back, sir.
Hello.
How goes it?
Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. It's been an interesting week or so. Everybody who isn't me and my family got COVID.
I saw
So-
I saw Bryn's tweets.
Yeah. And my brother and his other half have got an 8-week-old baby, so they were already pretty tired, and then they both got COVID, and wasn't ideal.
I pretend I do not see it.
Yeah, and also it's like, oh, I'll help by, well, I can put groceries in front of your door and run away. That's about all I can do. That's about all I'm allowed to do. So, because
Well,
normally
I mean,
you go
it's
in
something.
and help. It's something. I bought loads of nappies and left them outside the door and ran away like some sort of helpful prank. But yeah, other than that, obviously, Bridget, we've met. I don't know if I
Yes,
have met
this
you.
is the lovely
Dr.
Dr. Sarah
Brooks.
Brooks.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to
Make
meet
sure
you.
to put that
May I
doctorate
ask
in there for you, bud.
a doctor of what?
It's a PhD, so it's not, like medically related, but
all doctoring.
my field is communication. I basically study media effects.
Cool, lovely.
And funnily
good
enough,
for-
you bring up.
You're very good for talking about all of the dumb media shit that we talk about on here.
Yeah.
But you get like the proper backed up academic argument as opposed to what we reckon.
Yeah, essentially.
Yes.
That is essentially it.
Funny that you mentioned COVID because I was just in your country 3 weeks ago and brought it back with me,
A
imported.
gift. A
So
gift from the British Isles.
yeah,
Don't you know it's
yeah.
fine
So
here and
it
we
could very
fixed
much
it?
be related to.
Hey, could be.
Yeah.
I think we're still riding that Omicron wave.
Oh, cute.
That's what I
Yeah.
have is Omicron. So yeah.
Yeah. Are you still
have it.
still with it?
Yep, very highly medicated at the moment.
Oh, no, I had it. First time in the whole pandemic. I had it like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and yes, I spent the last sort of 5 days of it sort of gently humming in a corner because I got tired and then weird and then on cough medicine and then it went away.
So maybe that'll just make you more fun today, Brooks.
Well, I specifically didn't take my opioid cough medicine so that I wasn't like
Oh,
falling
well,
asleep.
god damn it.
Delicious liquid oxy.
Yep.
I've just started watching Dope Sick, so I'm full of
Oh,
full of
fun.
facts.
I have not gotten around to that one yet.
It's good. It's good stuff. I've only watched a couple of episodes, but it's deeply, like, so profoundly depressing as all these things are.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's got Michael Keaton's evil face in it, and I'm a big fan of it. He's got
Would
his
you
weird
say?
little creepy
Tim,
smile.
I have to show you this to prove that I'm not lying about the fact that I am actually going to send you something for the number of times that you have appeared on the podcast.
Oh.
I've always assumed you're a damn liar.
I mean, in some
Fair.
cases, yes. I just way overestimated or underestimated how much time something was going to take me, and I got really ambitious because that's how I am as a person.
Hubris.
Giant
Is
thing
it
that
hubris?
I started working on the first time you came on the
Oh.
podcast was this, and it's still not done.
Excellent. Is the
So
whole
there's-
thing going to be black? Is that the...
That's partially the problem, but then I was also gonna stitch a bunch of stars onto it.
Yeah, I was going to say, when
Get
you're
there
stitching...
eventually.
When you're stitching a negative pattern, so you therefore
Yeah.
have to do everything else, it's going to take...
Yeah,
Fucking years.
and then these are for you and Ben.
Oh, little QRs.
Yeah.
Is that what QR codes are? I've had a sudden crisis of confidence. Is that a
Yes,
QR
no,
code?
these are QR codes, and
Oh,
it can be a fun little surprise what they are.
Oh, viruses. The links to viruses.
No.
Dropbox
But yeah,
file.
so I
Threats-
wasn't lying, and I just kept feeling so bad about it.
no, all good, all good.
Because,
Oh, a quick question,
yes.
because I've heard it both now. Do you prefer Sarah or Brooks?
I do not really have a preference.
I might go
Um,
for Brooks because it sounds like I'm yelling at a... are carry-on films a thing that you're aware of? Sort of like the British farce culture, where like a foreman might go, Brooks! That sort
Oh.
of thing. No, I
Sure.
feel like I've fallen into the cultural divide. I feel like I've broken my ankle in the cultural divide.
No, you're good. I can't say I get that reference, but
Oh,
I think I get the vibe.
Yeah, truly awful, badly produced films from the 1960s and 70s that are unaccountably popular because we didn't have much on. Lots
That's
of
fair.
women's bras falling off, but you don't see anything because it's the 60s. Lots of that, and men going, "Phew." Just an
Agreed.
enormous amount of that. Some of our most famous stars wasted their mid-careers in those films.
Very fun. Yeah, no, I physically cannot bring myself to call her by her first name because she used to grade my papers, and Sarah is also the name of my childhood best friend who used to live across the street from me. And that has been a connection that I have never been able to get rid of in my brain. It feels illegal, and I don't know why.
It feels illegal. No, I'll stick with Brooks then. Brooks.
So, I mean, I do have some stuff planned for today. Of course I do. What am I talking about? Oh, I'm off to a great start. Does anyone want to start off with just like things that are happening in their lives, though?
Are we already recording?
Oh, we have been, yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad I haven't said anything truly reprehensible. I forgot you do this. I forgot
Yeah.
that this is a feature. I arrive and it's already happening, and I'm making my pre-show small talk,
Yeah,
not knowing that
because the
I've been
pre-show
captured.
small talk is funny sometimes, and I like to.
Emphasis on sometimes.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
If it helps everybody but Bridget forgets most of the time.
it's because I do all
Like,
the
Yeah.
work
actually
here.
remind us on a regular basis. Yeah, I'm like, wait, oh, right. You're probably recording this, aren't you?
I feel like
And
I
I'm
need to get like an
not-
on-air sign that I can like
Yeah.
turn on in the
Get a big-
background of my room.
Get a big neon sign to make everyone nervous. Everyone needs a big nervousness sign. Big.
Actually, that'll probably be a thing I do when I finally get an apartment and like have like an actual recording space. Is like
Are you?
get-
Is that in the plans, or is that a hope of a dream of a wish?
actually in the plans. Yay!
Mm.
You can just get a neon sign that says "Be afraid," and then
That
people will
too.
be on the coats. Yeah.
A
could
sign
be
of
fun.
fear.
Make everyone
get a-
extra uncomfortable. Other than just
a
my like
threatening sign.
off-putting personality.
Well, you can also get your face in neon, go like doing a deadpan stare, both together. The combo.
But yeah, no, I genuinely feel like an on-air sign is something I need just to make my life easier. And
Yeah.
make everyone else's lives easier. I don't know.
Just to remind everyone, we have. To be fair, I do have a strong feeling that apart from the strongest of medias, the best part of any show is the stuff that happens to get recorded outside of the show and then edited together. I prefer bloopers to the shows, and the fun, and the word bloopers is fun.
You're so right. Actually, I don't know if you watch the show. Tim, do you watch What We Do in the Shadows?
I do watch We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, wonderful!
I
We
do.
can be so annoying about this because one of the things on our list of like question/talking points for today is to, even though our third member of the podcast is not here because he's off doing big boy Congress things.
Bastard.
I know, right?
Participating in government. Prick.
We've been bullying him about starting to watch that show because we're going to talk about it on our weekly TV/movie discussion stream when season 4 starts airing. Whether he is ready or not,
It's coming.
it's coming. So now you can help. We were going to bully him regardless of the fact that he's not here. So now you can help because you understand.
I do, and because I'm English, I can do a Matt Berry impression. So
I love Matt Berry so much. I need to start watching Toast of London and Toast of Tinseltown.
it's all good. I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
And also, I need to figure out a way for me to get my grubby American paws on that sketch comedy show that Natasha Demetrio just dropped on like BBC iPlayer or whatever. It's like Ellie and
I didn't know
Natasha.
this was a thing.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
just
know
dropped
this was a
literally like
thing.
yesterday.
I will watch this because I'm in England and therefore have the iPlayer. Well, have you considered the delights of a VPN?
I
I've
do
never
have a
used
VPN.
one.
I just actually have to
Well,
like
then
go
it's-
about figuring out how to use the BBC iPlayer because I haven't done
said
that
it's-
since I was pirating Doctor Who as a 14-year-old.
You realise we're being recorded.
Yeah.
And the Director General of the BBC can hear this.
Oops. Oh,
I do actually. It's not something you think about, but the fact that the person who runs the BBC is called the Director General,
Are they
which is
actually?
quite a fucking title. It's like the Prince, like Prince Bishop of Mainz or something,
Yeah.
or what's the other one? God Emperor. Those kind of like 2-part titles that are really fucking highfalutin. The Director General.
God Emperor
Don't
was
fuck
the
with
last
the
Dune
Director
book
General.
that was enjoyable.
I mean, I've never read a Dune book. I've looked at one pretty hard, but they're thick boys.
They are very thick boys. I forced myself to read the entire series, and towards the end it wasn't very fun, but I liked the part afterwards where I had a bunch of knowledge about the Dune extended universe in my head and could talk about it.
Just dropping facts about the, I'm going to say, Quis Haderach.
Oh,
Is that a
so
thing?
close. So close.
Something like that.
Kwisatz
Something
Haderach.
Quis Haderach. Quizax Haderach. There we are. I'm so embarrassed. Frank Herbert would be absolutely appalled. What's the box you put your hand in that's bad?
Oh god. I don't know if they ever actually give you the name for the box, but the name of the test is the Gomjibar.
Gomjibar. There it is. You'll not go far unless you pass the Gomjibar. That's what you learn. That's what you learn in Dune. Welcome to Dune. Put your hand in pain box and find out if you're the Haderach. West Country Dune. It's a new terrible sketch I'm working on. West Country Dune. All right, mind that sandworm. It'll eat your face. In fact, I don't even think. No, that's not even West Country. I don't even know the regions of my own country. That's Brummy. West
I
Country
can't
would
break
be.
down the accents that
It's
specifically. I can say
absolutely-
I know what some sound like, but not all.
Go on.
Well, like I can pick out like what like a northern / like Yorkshire type accent is, and I know that like
Northern / Yorkshire. They'd be fucking appalled.
I'm sure they would be.
Northern/Yorkshire.
I'm a dirty
There's
American.
North Yorkshire. There's Lancashire. Lincolnshire, sitting just below there in the Midlands. Different, slightly.
I
North
know.
and South Yorkshire, both different.
I'm
I
a
don't
dirty
know. I don't-
dirty American. What can I say? I can pick
I don't
out
think-
vague, very broad regions. That's about it, though.
Yeah. Well, as far as we're concerned, you have West Coast, East Coast, Southern. And because we've watched Fargo,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Beyond that. And maybe Kentucky.
I don't know. I try not to cross the Mason-Dixon line.
It's best not to.
Especially
Put it there for a
some
reason.
days. Yeah.
Especially these. We're sort of like the Mason-Dixon hub now. It's sort of the uncomfortable middle.
Yeah, it's I don't know how much precisely what filters over through y'all's news media, but it is rough here.
Oh, yes, we know. It's because it's rough here as well. We've decided to follow suit.
Oh, cute. So it's just everyone.
Yeah. Everything's awful. Everything's awful, and nobody's happy. It's weird. Did everyone do now? Okay, I've started 3 sentences.
Beautiful.
Let's slow down. Obviously, we'll not get into him, but the last one that you had, and we were all like, "This man's ridiculous. This is a ridiculous man. Isn't it surprising that somebody this ridiculous is running a country?" And then you remember
guys have a pretty ridiculous
we've-
guy at the moment.
we've got a silly bastard, but the prime ministerial system is a bit weird because you can kind of win without ever actually properly winning and leave without ever actually properly losing because it's the prime minister rather than the party. Blah blah blah. So we get weirdos.
I'm sensing some vague vibes of an electoral college, winning without
It's
actually
sort of.
winning.
Well, no. So like everyone votes for an MP, and then the MPs all go to Parliament, and then whoever's got the most MPs or can form a coalition runs the government. But you all sort of agree to it. So
Everything
works
I
like that. And-
understand about the United Kingdom's government system comes from that show that Peter Capaldi was in before he was the 12th Doctor, where he was...
yes, yeah. The thick of it.
Yeah,
and the
I
film
love that
in
show
Luke.
so much, where he was just swearing a mile
It's a
minute.
pretty good rundown. It's a pretty good rundown.
And I don't even understand that much because I was too busy just laughing at all the dumb jokes.
Yeah, but that happens, and then the party agrees. Well, you'll run it. Like we don't choose that person, but it's all
Fascinating.
understood. Anyway, it means it's slightly easier to become prime minister than president. But lest we forget, Silvio Berlusconi was a thing for like a decade.
God, yeah.
The OG, being a weird sex pervert and still in power unaccountably for a
The only
decade
reason
and
I
still
wound up
might be in.
knowing that name was because a couple of years ago on Last Week Tonight, John Oliver did a bit, like, did the main story about, like, hey, Americans, you've probably never heard of this guy, but you might want to.
He may seem familiar.
Yeah. It was right when he was, like, about to come back, I think, or, like,
Yeah, I
potentially.
don't think he managed. I think the court stepped in
Solid.
because he was an actual convicted criminal.
Yeah.
But it's Italy, and I don't want to be pejorative about Italy, but Italy's weird. When it comes, they're sort of like, "Oh, did you commit a crime? Pfft, don't worry about it. It's
I mean,
we all get convicted for fraud. Don't worry about it. Go away for a year and a half and come back." And any Italians that want to at me, please do, because I don't really know what I'm talking about.
That's fair. That's entirely fair. I know very few things that I'm talking about, so if anyone wants to correct me, have at it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you don't have a lot of that. People correcting you on the internet without being invited to. I'm sure that's something you're entirely unfamiliar with.
No, you need an audience for that.
Oh, snap. Self-burn.
Shout out to our 46 YouTube subscribers. Love you. We're trying. We're really trying. I feel like you were Brooks. I feel like you look like you were gonna say something like 2 minutes ago, and I registered that, and then just mentally like blew past it and kept talking. Did you have something you'd like to add?
Well, I was gonna point out that like we talked about Silvio Berlusconi in class once, and you clearly don't remember it.
Yeah.
Not paying attention in class. Interesting.
Because the major reason that he was able to attain power in the first place and maintain his power was because of his media ownership. That his company had huge media holdings in Italy, and then the majority of the terrestrial TV stations in Italy are controlled by the government. So when he took office, he controlled every TV station but one.
Fascinating.
And the vast majority of Italians get their political news from TV as their main source or their only source. So he was able to control the entire narrative of his time in office.
No, I don't remember that. That might have been the day that I had a panic attack in class and had to go hide in the bathroom for 45 minutes.
I didn't remember that. Yeah, I suppose it's like, I suppose it's what Idiot Face has with like Sinclair and Fox.
Essentially, yeah. If that makes sense to me. Anyway, I do have stuff on the Google Doc. I don't know if anyone actually took a look at that. Doesn't actually matter.
I saw on the invite there were talking points.
Yes.
And I've had a look at the picture of the machine, if that's what we're going to talk about.
I am gonna actually, for my own...
I also like the fact it's like, first topic of an audio medium, here's a picture.
Yeah, we're terrible at this. We do a lot of...
It's something you can't see. Let's
know.
chat.
Although, in our defense, we do like, when this is released on audio format, we include a little link to the picture, just so people know.
Fair enough.
But I am
Is there a little bird near someone? Am I imagining I can just hear...
There's a humidifier going in my room.
Is it that thing goes...
I just heard it.
Oh, is that you then?
No.
No, it's definitely you.
I mean, I got my windows open, but...
I think we can hear a special little bird, but you can't.
Oh! Yeah, no. No, you're right. I just wasn't paying attention. Is that
You gotta pay
particularly
attention.
distracting? I can close the window.
No, it's quite nice. It makes it
Alright,
feel like you're
cool. I didn't know my
broadcasting from a
microphone
park.
was that good.
Yeah. You got sick gain on your mic.
Love that. Okay, let's see. Can I put something in the video, the chat feature in this video, while I am using it on a different device? We will find out.
Oh, it's exciting.
I don't want to join voice.
I've just got it up for me on a different screen.
I was gonna say, and I have it up.
This
too,
is for
so.
this is for the benefit of people who are watching this.
People, I forgot you put out a video portion.
We do.
I'd have dressed up. I mean, I wouldn't have dressed up.
I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
That's pretty dressed up. I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt earlier, but, it's nearly 11 o'clock for me, so I'm in my gym jams.
I love that. Oh my god, wait, that's a real word that people use? I just thought that was something from TV.
Oh, gentlemen's Jim Jams.
That's so
The
fun.
casual-
I love that.
The casual pajama.
I love it. Oh my god. Yeah. So I want to talk about this item that is listed on, I'm going to assume, Craigslist or something.
Shall I describe it?
Yes.
Viewer and listener, let me take you into an audio world of vision. Imagine a revolver, standard wooden handle revolver. It's been augmented. The barrel has a little PCB taped over it and a ribbon cord going to a little screen that you can see if you were pointing it. The hammer has been replaced by a little flick switch, and where the revolver, I don't know what you call it, the revolving bit of a revolver, the revolver would go, there's sort of like wrapped copper wire like you'd see around a motor, and some little switches and tape on the handle. It's very Back to the Future.
And the caption is, I built this while trippin'. No idea what it does. Not trying it either. $75 and it's yours.
$75 for a ruined gun.
And I just...
Or an improved gun.
Like, my thing is, what if, and we don't know because this person is not trying it out, what if this is like the portal gun from Rick and Morty? Like, what if they actually figured it out while they were high on acid and we just don't know because they're too afraid to try it?
It's true. It's very much like, what's that film? Safety Not Guaranteed.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, well then this reference
This happens
goes
to
nowhere.
her constantly because she has unfortunately befriended two children who don't know all the 90s movies.
Safety Not Guaranteed's early thousands, early to mid 2000s, I believe, by the person who then directed, oh gosh, what's its name? The Jurassic World. Went on to do that. Colin Trevorrow. Colin Trevorrow is the man's name.
Oh, okay.
No, my extra facts haven't helped. Anyway, in that there's an advert that says, looking for a companion to travel in time, have only tried it once, safety not guaranteed. They must bring own weapon or something like that. It very much reminds me of that, sort of like homebrew dangerous technology.
Yeah, no, honestly, I also feel like some vague knowledge of, like, electronics or computers might help me here, but I don't have that.
I don't think that whoever built this has a vague knowledge of electronics or computers, because putting a PCB near a gun is not the same thing as making a gun electronic, because I don't really see how this PCB interacts with anything that this gun does.
Should I know what a PCB is?
Yeah, it's the little green board.
Ah, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna say it stands for please circuit board.
Sure. I can't come up with anything better.
CB has to be circuit board. What does the P stand for?
Could it be plastic? Is that the actual surface of it is? Like,
yeah, it could be plastic.
Aside from the, like, actual, like, metal electronics on it, is the base just plastic?
Yeah, it's just etched plastic. Yeah, I'm gonna say you're right, because I don't know.
Alright, I'm gonna guess. If anyone wants to correct us, feel free.
Doctor, would you care to comment? You're a doctor and therefore must know everything.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I say it's correct.
Oh, there you go. Awesome.
Sweet. No need to fact check that.
No, why would you bother?
Done.
Beautiful.
Sorted. And this is how you mark things, right? Yeah, maybe. Could be.
Pretty much.
Fine, whatever. Sometimes
Probably.
I really say out loud. I just don't care that much. Good.
Yeah. Tick. B plus.
Yeah, no, I vaguely know the struggle because I was a teaching assistant at one point. You get real tired of it real fast.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The thing is, in a very real sense, and both of you who have more to do with education can correct me if I'm wrong, but students are stupid and should be largely ignored. Is this correct? Is this correct?
As a person who was a student, yes.
Yeah. I've been a student, and I don't think anything in 3 years of doing a politics degree, I don't think I said one single useful thing, other than one thing that I said that I felt was a good analogy and was appreciated by a lecturer, and that was saying that using standard military tactics against terrorism and guerrilla warfare is like trying to hit smoke with a hammer. And I felt the metaphor was apt.
Okay, pop
Apt,
off.
I say. Apt. Now, I probably wasn't the first person to say it, but I hadn't heard anyone else say it, therefore I'm taking it as a win.
I think you can claim that. I'm gonna say you can claim that.
Yes. Hooray for first year politics students.
Hell yeah.
they've got all the answers.
I mean, as far as
Could
they might have answers at this point. Well, look at what the people in like. No one else seems to know what they're doing.
It's true. It's true. The more experienced people don't seem to be doing it particularly well.
We
Could it be the
try
case
asking them.
that this gun is a very, very over-engineered sort of Russian roulette thing?
It could
You pull the
be.
trigger, the computer decides. Maybe it decides whether or not the person it's pointed at deserves to die.
Ooh.
You point the gun at someone, you pull the trigger. It does a calculation. I don't know what the calculation would be. Maybe it's, I'm going to say, God's inside it, and God works out whether or not this person deserves to be shot or not. Now, I'm going to hold my hands up and say no one deserves to be shot. Don't shoot people. However, if you're going to use it, use the special God Judge gun.
That's a Stellar Firma item.
I did feel myself falling into tricks.
Like, that's a thing that they made in Stellar Firma.
No one should be shot, but it's going to happen. So if it is going to happen, use this.
Precisely. I feel like I can almost see something on the screen, and the thing that it looks like I can see on the screen kind of looks like one of the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It looks like you're in battle, and those are the four
And I'm
options.
wondering if this is just a very, very...
The poker gun.
But, like, not even if it's necessarily Pokemon. I wonder if this is just a very, very unnecessarily, like, complex way to play, like, a little, like... If there was ever, like, Duck Hunt on, like, the Game Boy Advance, like, the little ones, like, the old NES Duck Hunt. I'm wondering if this is just a very, very complex way.
Or, like, a really OP light gun.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they made the plastic light gun. It's like that, but this actually shoots a bullet as well. It's a light gun, but you can only use it once because it plows a couple of grams of lead into your television. Also works, it's advertised, and there's a little star in the corner of the box, and it just says in the star, also works on real ducks.
Only once. Oh
Only
my God.
once.
No. God, I will never be able to find this because it was a random thing I saw back when I was, like, on Tumblr, and it was, like, someone saying that, like, oh, this is, like, my switch that turns off anything, and it was just a brick, and it was like, you can turn off any lamp, but only once. And, like, yeah, I mean, they're right.
Who needs a universal remote?
Yeah, they're completely correct. Oh,
Well, it's like, what's that? It's the Terry Pratchett thing, where they say, well, if you're trying to kill a vampire, chop its head off and put a stake through its heart. By the way, this does also work on non-vampires.
I mean, yeah, they're so right. I haven't read
just
anything by... Actually, no, I've read Good Omens, so that's technically me reading something by Terry Pratchett, but I want to, like, get into Discworld.
Oh, yeah. There's so much of it, and it's very good.
Right? Like, that's the kind of thing I need. I need, like, just, like, something that can, like, take up a ton of, like, time that I don't have, so I don't know why I'm like this, but, like, I just need a book series that's, like, has a really expanded world that I can get into.
And they're eminently readable, and they generally just get better and better. The first ones are fine, and then they just generally get better and better and better, until the very last ones, where they're sort of just rapidly trying to get them done before he dies, and you can kind of tell. But, you know, that's fair enough.
To see it.
You do hate to see it, but he did an absolute shit ton of books, so...
Yeah. I will say, very impressive in my humble opinion. I said this on literally last episode. Why does the Google Docs app hate you for using it?
Because it knows everybody that's using the Google and Android ecosystem is essentially self-hating and should be punished. I say this as a Samsung user. But nothing talks to each other, and everything hates everything else.
That's fair. Would we like to either... thinking about shuffling the order of things around here. Do we want to discuss our thoughts on the notion of hologram concerts, or do we want to backtrack a little to the part where the three of us all watch What We Do in the Shadows so we can bully Zack about it even though he's not here?
Now, are you suggesting that we all watch What We Do in the Shadows on the podcast, because that would cause some audio bleed and definitely a copyright breach?
That would be super fun. No. Discuss and make fun of Zack for not having watched it yet.
Have I met Zack?
No, you haven't.
Well, then this is going to be difficult. How am I going to pull out their personal faults? Are we just going to have to go for general, non-specific bullying?
I'm trying to think of anything I can give you right now.
I need some cracks.
He wears glasses. I don't know.
Oh, what an idiot.
You could call him Four Eyes, but I'm also wearing... Although technically these are bullshit. I don't actually need them. He needs his.
So, okay. So we're into classic, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Like 80s movie bullies.
Yeah, American classic bullying.
Essentially.
Four Eyes, Point Dexter. Now, here's both a question to see if you know something, and then also a question to make sure I'm right about the thing I think I know. You know they call people Point Dexter. Do you know why they call people Point Dexter? To say you're a nerd.
Nope.
Dr. Brooke is nodding.
Always assumed it was from the movie Revenge of the Nerds, because there's a character named Poindexter.
Ah, okay. So here's where whether or not I'm right gets involved, because there is a famous person called Point Dexter. A real one, which I think is what Revenge of the Nerds is referencing. I can't remember his first name, but he was like in the Defense Department and was involved in the development of the Mutually Assured Destruction Doctrine. So as like a Defense Department strategist, and therefore at the time thought of as incredibly smart. So to be like a big nerd was to be like a Point Dexter. And then it sort of gently moved away from him and just into a general term of smarty pants nerd. Now, here's the point of the podcast where I now Google the thing I've just said. Point Dexter.
Love it.
Usually what I do.
Yeah, she's like the resident podcast Googler.
Okay, Point Dexter.
I don't have enough monikers for that.
Character in the animated TV series Felix the Cat, whose name has become a slang term, a bookish or socially unskilled person. So what was that cat named after?
I get the feeling you're going to be right.
Yeah, but it's not coming up as like a, oh, by the way, did you know? Origin of Point Dexter. Oh, hang on, we've got an article.
Love a good article. I'm genuinely so invested.
Okay, we've got Point Dexter, we've got Felix the Cat. Okay, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try Point Dexter and mutually assured destruction. Oh no, have I got this wrong? Oh no, dear. Oh, who's called Point Dexter?
Of everyone here, I'm the least likely to know, so...
There's lots... No, okay. No, come back to me. I may be misremembering this. Facts that aren't facts with Tim.
Oh, love it. Doing great.
Does it sound right?
I mean, I bought it.
Yeah. Oh, you say things. You say anything confidently enough in a British accent, and people do. It's basically how the Empire worked.
Oh, I submitted an audition for an audio drama today, and I recorded a take in a British accent because I thought that might... I don't know. I thought that just might make me sound more legit.
John Marlon Point Dexter, Department of Defense official and a national security advisor during the Reagan administration.
Okay, so you weren't wrong.
So that is a real person.
Love it.
I'm seeing nothing to properly connect him. No, and he was famous after the 50s, which is when Felix the Cat was involved. No, I think I've collated two. This is like when I thought Tony Blair and Michael Jackson were the same person when I was a child. I've just seen two things near each other and collated them into one thing.
Nicely done.
There've been loads of famous Point Dexters. John Q. Point Dexter, American state senator from Mississippi. Pony Point Dexter, American jazz musician.
Okay, that's a pretty badass name, honestly. That's pretty banger.
Pony Point Dexter,
I'm here for it.
the U.S. ambassador to Peru, was once Miles Poindexter. God, there's an embarrassment of Poindexters.
Oh, actually, here's another thing. Actually, this might be helpful. Zack is also a politics person. He's a big political nerd. So maybe you understand as a person who did a politics degree what some weaknesses there might be.
Okay. A deep sense that there is no particular right way to govern any more than 3 people at a time, and therefore sort of a sucking pit of anxiety about the fact that no way we can organise people will ever be right. With that would certainly be one thing I picked up from my politics degree.
I mean, I would say that's something I've picked up from living in the world.
That's true. Yeah, I suppose you can just get that. I genuinely, after 3 years of a politics degree, the only thing I really picked up was the way to run things really effectively is to have a total dictatorship of somebody that's absolutely perfect in every way that never dies, and also they might suddenly stop being perfect at some point, at which point you need to kill them. And I don't think that's a maintainable system. I think that's
No, it seems.
yeah. You need someone perfect to run everything on your behalf, because you can't be trusted, and they also can't suddenly be corrupt by absolute power, which is unlikely.
Yeah, I was gonna say doesn't seem like that's gonna happen, which is very unfortunate.
And then they'll become a god, and after they die, people will be like, "Well, I'm in charge now, but in the name of the dead god," and they'll be bad, and that'll be bad. So yeah,
There's
maybe
a
we should
novel
all
in
just.
there somewhere.
Oh, I think there's 1,000 novels that have all been written. Again, I think there's a Terry Pratchett novel specifically about that. It's the Guards series. I think at one point he says, even if there's a good king, what about the person that does things on behalf of the king? You better hope they're good too. Because if they're not...
The man made some solid points, I must say.
He made some cracking points. Again, a lot of my personal philosophy is based on humorist Terry Pratchett. I think there's worse ways to have your.
Yeah, I was gonna say much worse things.
Could have been worse. Could have been Ayn Rand. I could be that guy.
Oh,
That'd be bad. Loads of teens read Ayn Rand and are like, "Fucking yeah," because it sounds really good written down. Yeah, I want stuff and it's mine. Leave me alone. If you read that when you're 13, all of a sudden you're, I'm gonna say, Rick Perry. Who was the one who did too much exercise and was also Speaker of the House and had a sad face? Relatively recent, early Trump administration.
Paul Ryan?
Paul O'Ryan. Yeah, Ryan. Paul Ryan. Yeah, he was an Ayn Rand fan.
Oh yeah, no, I think he definitely brought a copy of The Fountainhead
He was
to the Senate floor at some point.
He was Team Randy.
Unfortunately.
Anyway, I'll stop talking about Ayn Rand.
I've never read anything she's ever written at this point. Not
Don't
planning on
bother.
it.
Don't bother. That's one female author that I have no compunction on the internet in saying fucking ignore her. Now that sounds bad in isolation, but trust me, fucking ignore Ayn Rand.
Yeah, no, I will.
Read
I will
Ursula Le
definitely
Guin
agree.
instead.
Yes.
And her book's up there.
There you go.
Nice.
We burn them later.
I'm so good at
Oh, sorry, I thought you were
describing-
talking about Ursula Le Guin. Fucking Ursula Le Guin. Burn it.
I'm so good at having points and then forgetting them.
You've got them
Story of
written
my life.
down. Well, Hologram Concerts was the other thing you were going to.
Yeah. How do we feel about those?
I don't get them.
No, I don't want to sound like a curmudgeon. But it seems pointless. Like let people be dead.
Here's my thing, though. I know that in London right now they have the ABBA thing,
Yeah.
which is like, and it's not like their estate or whatever being like, oh, let's try and get as much money out of them as possible. That is sanctioned by the 4 of them, and as a massive ABBA stan who was not alive at the height of their popularity, if that's the only way I'm gonna get to see ABBA, I will take what I can fucking get.
I suppose so, because it's not like I object to watching old recordings of people. Like if you're watching an old concert, I'm not like, let them be dead, let their spirit rest. I suppose it was because I always first heard about those concerts when it's like, look, I know Tupac was shot, but we kind of cobbled together and Frankensteined a hologram show. That feels creepy and weird, and like you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's.
But being like, basically this is a very fancy 3D IMAX presentation of an ABBA concert. All right, enjoy yourself.
And again, as a person whose favorite artist is David Bowie.
Yeah, he ain't doing any fucking concerts.
Yeah,
Hologram.
I really don't have much choice.
No, no.
If I would like to experience his music in any way other than just through my headphones.
I think maybe it should be a case of when they were alive, they have to have said yes. And
Yeah,
if they
that
said
seems fair.
cool, then okay. And David Bowie seems like the kind of person who would have been like, okay, that's absolutely fine. You can use my hologram body. I'm cool with it. Woo.
He seems like he'd be down with anything.
I was talking about the internet before it was cool.
He really was king.
To a very disbelieving, oh God, what's his name? The interviewer, British guy, did University Challenge, shouted, I don't believe you, at politicians for his entire career.
I wish I could help you here. It's not like I can even, like, spit out names.
No, I'm going to have to look it up. I find myself, whenever I come on this show, I spend my time just Googling things I want to say. Hang on. Jeremy Paxman. I remember Jeremy Paxman. He did an interview with a very disbelieving Jeremy Paxman, who was like, but surely the internet was just a fad. And he's like, no,
I know
you
the exact interview that you're talking about.
You misunderstand, Jeremy. It's a revolution.
And he's so right.
Yeah. Jeremy Paxman is very wrong, as Jeremy Paxman often is. He's charismatic, but he's not often correct.
Can you think of an American, like, version?
American Paxman.
Yeah, like, I want to understand the vibe. Like, I get what you're saying by describing this person, but, like...
Maybe like Letterman, but Letterman makes jokes. You know, somebody who's sort of like, you watch them and you're like, you command a lot of gravitas and, like, respect. But if I actually listen to what you're saying, I'm not sure a lot of it actually matters. Like, you're saying it in a very impressive way, but there's a bit of a disconnect between, the quality of you saying it and the quality of the content.
Okay, yeah,
but
no,
yes,
I get what you mean. I can't really think of any names, but I definitely get
Letterman's more comedian-y. I don't know, Walter Cronkite, but he was a proper journalist. Walter Cronkite, who I know mostly from Jim Carrey's impression in, Bruce Almighty, where he puts a comb in front of his nose and says, Walter Cronkite.
Another thing I haven't seen.
Ken, you're not... You know what? I say that. I enjoyed Bruce Almighty. But then again, I watched it when I was 12. So, of course I enjoyed it. I was a fucking idiot. I enjoyed lots of stuff. I have a strong affiliation with the film Dogma, which I'm sure is probably not a good film. But again, I watched it a lot when I was a teen.
Yeah,
so
there's something... We spent an entire episode talking about, like, shitty movies that we watched as kids that, like, we will never hear any criticisms of, even though they are objectively god-awful.
Exactly. The original animated version of the BFG.
I didn't even know that existed.
It's horrifying. Like, it's really... Because it's, like, slightly janky... I think it's a British production. It's slightly janky animation with David Jason off of Only Fools and Horses. Do Americans know David Jason? I don't think he's been in anything... I don't think he's been in anything American. Very incredibly famous British actor, but in that way that, somebody tells you, oh, they're an incredibly famous Dutch actor, and you're like, okay, sure. I've never heard of him. I'm not a Nederlander. I'm simply not. But yes, so he plays the BFG, and it's very, very upsetting in that way that, like, late 80s children's content is.
Oh, God,
Like, it's just harrowing, and contains a lot of fart jokes, but I believe they are in the original text as well.
Fair enough. Oh, actually, speaking of British productions, last night I went to go see that, and I don't know if this is, like, considered super indie here, or just a majorly indie release in general. It's called Brian and Charles.
Oh, I'm looking forward to watching Brian and Charles at my local cinema
It's
because
an absolute
look,
delight. I cannot recommend it enough.
I want to sit in the front seat. Let me sit in the front seat. I will sit in the front seat. Yes, it looks great.
Yeah, no, oh my god, I saw that last night. Like, when in knowing almost nothing about it, I saw, like, just, like, the quickest little, like, 30-second ad for it on Instagram, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of fun. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's go see this. Absolute delight. Had so much fun.
Oh, I'm very glad because I saw an advert for it because I went to see Men, the Alex Garland.
Oh, what did you think of that? Don't tell her anything about the third act.
Yeah. I liked it. The third act was certainly a lot. It was definitely one of those ones where it's like, I like this and I like the way you've done it. I'm not entirely sure the film feels like it's making a slightly larger point than it actually is, but the point it's making is one I like. And I like the way it's doing it. But it's also a bit of a horror film, so it wasn't exactly going to sit down with you and go like, no, but let's look into the issue deeper. You know, it's a relatively short-punchy film.
I love the spooky stuff, you know?
I love the spooky stuff. And I hate horror films. I don't like them. They scare me. I once headbutted a date in a film because I jumped at an opportunity moment whilst watching Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. So I do not have a strong and good relationship with horror films.
That's fun.
It was a bad date.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I don't really like them, but I really love Rory Kinnear. Love a bit of Kinnear. Love a slice of the Kinnear. So I went to see the film.
Have you watched Our Flag Means Death?
Absolutely, I've watched Our Flag Means Death, and I enjoyed Rory Kinnear in that as well, playing what he always plays, a upsetting posh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also in Black Mirror, upsetting posh man. I'd like to see him. It's the very first season of Black Mirror, the one where they say, "Do what we say, or we'll kill a princess," or something like that, or like a young member of the royal family. And the thing that they demand that he does is that the Prime Minister has sex with a pig, and then it just sort of follows. Yeah, it's very first episode, and very shortly after that, there was a scandal in which our Prime Minister at the time, David Cameron,
that was precisely
alleged.
What that look on my face was.
Yes,
I was making that connection.
I can't remember which way round the things are. I don't know if the Black Mirror episode came out first, and then it just so happened that there was a pig sex scandal, or it must be the other way around. I can't begin to believe that Charlie Brooker predicted.
Although, how funny would that be?
It would be great. Hang on a minute. Let's look at the timeline. Let's delve into the timeline. How do I Google this without causing some sort of problem? Cameron pig sex. Hang on. Okay, David
Cameron pig scandal. There you go.
Yeah, David Cameron pig. So Piggate. It has a Wikipedia entry under Piggate.
I like that Watergate was so like.
It has a lot.
Becomes ingrained in cultural memory, not just in the United States, to the point where every scandal is a gate.
Everything is a gate. Everything is a gate. Okay. 2015. Extracts were published in the Daily Mail, September 2015. That feels like it's after Black Mirror, but that's Black Mirror.
The first episode premiered December 4th of 2011.
Oh, wow. Okay, so... Oh, hang on. So it preceded it by 4 years?
Yeah.
Incredible stuff. Incredible scenes.
Wow, imagine calling that one 4 years in advance.
Of all the shots to call, Prime Minister pig sex scandal is not the one.
Yeah, that's a shot you don't take unless you're 100% sure.
You've really got to be certain. Oh dear. I wish Rory Kinnear would A, get more work, and B, get some jobs in which he's not
an annoying posh man.
Well, or turns out to be a sweaty pervert. Like there's a lot of there's a real line in Sweaty Kid. Now, having said that, getting regular work as a character actor with that better than not getting work at all. However, it'd be nice to see him get a bit of a mix. But he has got real public schoolboy face.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But Brian and Charles was absolutely excellent. Also, my boyfriend, as we were walking to the theater, he was like, that was the most British production I have ever seen in my entire life.
Very British. It's very rural.
Yeah, and just the whole, like, super, super dry humor. I'm a big fan. I had a great time watching that movie, so I think you will as well.
No, I'm gonna go see it. I think next week.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing so many goddamn movies lately. It's been very fun.
Highlights other than Brian and Charles.
Other than Brian and Charles, I saw the new Cronenberg movie last week. I honestly was expecting / hoping to be more viscerally disgusted than I was. But
I
also,
don't
like,
think-
can I expect everything to be The Fly? No.
I don't think I've ever seen a single Cronenberg film.
Start with The Fly.
Start with The Fly. Start with... Because that's a Goldblum.
Yes.
Melty Goldblum. 1986
Yep.
film. Let's have a look. Oh, I've been spelling it wrong for a start. It's with a
Actually,
C.
here. What have I seen recently? Let me pull up the Letterboxd account.
Now, just while you're doing that, I've just got a picture of David Cronenberg, and he looks like the films he directs.
Feel free to add
Like, if
that
you-
to the channel chat.
Yeah, like if you looked at, if you were like, oh, okay, sort of weird body horror and upsetting scenes, what would this guy look like? An evil walnut? Correct, David Cronenberg.
Oh, I saw, this was recent, and this dropped, I don't know, and maybe you haven't seen this because you're not a horror person. I saw that Mad God.
Oh, the animation, The Realm of the Mad God.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I do want to watch that, and again, not because I like horror, but because I like creepy stop motion animation.
It has that in spades, my friend.
Yeah, I didn't know. So have they released the whole thing? Because I know they were releasing it in little chunks, and then there was some publicity for it because it was nearly done.
As far as I know, this is the whole thing.
This is the whole thing. What's the man's name?
Phil Tippett.
Tippett. Little Pippy Tippett.
I think he definitely won an award. I don't know if it was an Oscar, but he definitely won an award for the effects in Jurassic Park.
Yes, yeah, Jurassic Park, and then there was another one where he did all of the... Yes, because for Jurassic Park, he was brought in to do stop motion, and then very early on they were like, we're not using stop motion, but we are using designs, and then somebody else did the puppetry, but he was still sort of involved.
I believe that. Recently watched The Exorcist for the first time in my life. That was fun. 80s movie, Return to Oz.
Return to Oz. Is that the upsetting sequel?
Correct.
I've not seen it, but I've heard tell.
I can definitely see how that traumatized a lot of kids in the 80s, but also, like, the practical effects, quite solid. Very enjoyable.
Isn't that because in
watch.
all of those films, that's just things actually happening? Like, they're not effects, we just poisoned a man.
Maybe not quite. Oh,
Oh,
of course I watched
Cronenberg did a
Everything
history
Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, sausage hands!
Yeah, that was a very fun movie. I had a great time.
Brooke, have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? I thoroughly suggest that you stream it, and I suggest that you stream it in your COVID-addled state. I think that
Yeah,
will be
honestly.
a hell of an experience. It's a lot of film. It's a lot
Yeah.
of film, and it all happens everywhere and all at once. It's very
sure
good.
does.
That's my
Actually-
favorite film I've seen all year.
Funny story relating to one of the actresses in that film, Stephanie Hsu, who's the daughter / Joey Tupaki, was on Broadway in the SpongeBob SquarePants musical, which I went to go see. And I was sitting on one of the aisle seats, and there was a point where there were people dancing in the aisles, and she was like standing right next to me. So I like put my hand out, and she fist bumped me.
Ah, there you
A
go.
little brush
Now,
with fame.
how was the SpongeBob SquarePants Broadway musical?
I love that musical so much. I saw it twice on Broadway proper.
Is the critical consensus with you, or are you on a SpongeBob SquarePants island?
No, actually, it did quite well. People were very impressed with the kind of like costume design and translation of 2D images to a 3D space. They kind of killed it, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, because it's hard, because he's definitely a big square with a face.
Yeah, no,
So,
they did a
trying to make-
fantastic job.
Was it a big puppet face, or was it somebody with like their face pushing through a costume?
No, neither.
Neither. Well, then how did Bob appear?
I mean, it was like more costume design than anything else. He had like a, red tie, yellow gingham shirt.
Oh, so they didn't try and make him a big square sponge?
No.
Oh, okay. So it was a bit like the cats in Cats. You've got ears on, but we've not gone
not
too
the
far with
horrible
the
movie
costume.
version.
Yeah. Yes. We
Oh,
did
actually,
an episode
other fun
of.
thing. I actually, like, as a Broadway person, like, as a musical person, I had, like, not actually seen a production of Cats for an embarrassingly long time. Finally did that, and I mean, you have a lot of questions the whole time, very light on the plot, but I was not once was I bored.
It's not good though, is it? It's not a good show. It's not a good show though, is it?
Debatable.
The thing is, it's not. The thing about it now. Look, the thing about now. Stay with me now. The thing about now with Cats. The one thing I've got now. Look, we're all friends here, but the thing with it is that it's not good though, is it? It's bad and boring and stupid, and T.S. Eliot is shameful of it. He's ashamed of what happened to Cats.
Here's the thing. My counterpoint to the fact that the plot is essentially that they are cats, and they introduce themselves to the head cat until one of them gets permission to die.
Yep, as
That is
cats
the
are
plot.
wont to do, as is their right. I mean, the
I will
cats.
I will give it to you. That is the entire plot.
And practical cats at that.
Yeah. It's very, very entertaining. I don't care if it's good or not. It is
entertainment
flashy
isn't.
and exciting, and people are singing and dancing, and as a person who very much appreciates that I could never do that, I'm having a great time.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that you didn't enjoy it, because that's not how enjoyment works. However, I've seen Cats, and
My
there's
sister
somebody in
knows
it.
that I record the podcast at this same time every single week.
I don't care. She's trying to ring you to say pull up. Cats is
No,
shit.
she's not. My sister is not calling me to have me pull up. She's calling me to know if I'm gonna order her dinner or something.
Just text her back. I'm sorry, I'm with the Rum Tum Tugger, who is a character in Cats, and
Yes,
that's
he is.
not a good character. That's
Oh,
a
the song
good
bangs,
joke,
though.
eh?
The song bangs, though.
I don't. You know what? I can't remember the song off the top of my head. Could I have a rendition of the Rum Tum Tugger song from Cats? And
No, because it's out of my range.
Ah. Can I do my given that I don't know it? Can I do my version of it?
Oh, absolutely, please.
I'm the Rum Tum Tugger and I'm tugging along. I'm a cat and I'm gonna show you my bum. Look at my anus. I'm a cat. Is that sort of roughly?
Sure, good enough.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, I completely understand anyone's complaints with it because it's utterly ridiculous and the plot is non-existent and it's literally all style over substance, but God, was I entertained for 2.5 hours.
It is possible that I've taken against it, because at my grandparents' house in the 90s, I had 2 videos. One of them was a video of the production of Cats, the classic VHS of Cats.
There's definitely one of those floating around my house somewhere.
Black case, just 2
Yep.
eyes on it. Cats. And the other one was Thundercats. You may have spotted a theme for me.
I can see that. Sorry, is that a VH? What is the large clunky piece of equipment behind you? Do I see VHSs, or are those books and I'm just stupid?
Those are books, and then above it, a printer.
Oh, I'm a dumbass.
But a very special printer that I'm tediously fond of, because it's an eco-tank printer, which means I buy bottles of ink and decant them into a special box rather than buying cartridges, because I'm not a friend of the environment, you see.
That actually, wait, no, I want that
It's
in
really
my
good.
life. I want to be a wizard when I have to print things.
It feels like, because again, you very rarely have to refill it. It's very, very cost effective. But when you do refill it, you do feel like an alchemist pouring a special unguent It's very enjoyable.
I'm so here for this.
If a bit tense, because you are emptying a bottle of ink. Now, it's got a little special valve, but you don't trust the valve. You're like, what if you pour ink all over my carpet? I did it in the kitchen. It didn't pour ink anywhere. It was fine, but, you know,
There you
first
go,
time
that's
was dead. That is something.
I feel like I had another point to make about what we do in the shadows, not to be constantly bringing it back to that, but also the fact that I am constantly bringing it back to that is what it is like to be friends with me, especially for the past, 2 months. I have been the worst version of myself for other people, not for me. I'm the best version of myself for me.
You're living your best life.
Have you
life. Recently got into all of it? Or
yeah, I started watching it a couple months ago, and I have watched it 3 times since, because that's the way my brain works.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I have been into the movie for quite some time.
Sure.
But yeah, no, for anyone who is around me, I am the worst version of myself. I have gotten so much more annoying.
Bat?
Yeah, as Brooks can attest to, as Zack can attest to, especially Zack because he hasn't started watching yet, and I'm extra annoying about it because I want him to understand.
The thing with Laszlo, he's a silly bastard. You know, just classic lines.
I love all of them so much.
But can you do Matt Berry as Laszlo as Jackie Daytona?
Oh, God, I'm trying to remember how Jackie Daytona sounds. Does it just sound exactly like, hey there, I'm Jackie Daytona.
Tucson, Arizona.
I've moved here to Tucson, Arizona. I'm just a regular guy like you. A regular 2-bit Joe, Jackie Daytona.
There you go. That's pretty good.
He's just a bit more feisty. No, I've killed him.
The way I
screeched
when they did the reveal of Mark Hamill in that episode.
Is Mark Hamill in that episode? I didn't spot.
Jim the Vampire.
Jim the Vampire.
It's printed on your
I
card.
can't remember. Hang on, because I do know what he looks like. Jim the Vampire. What we do in the shadows. That was Mark Hamill. I didn't notice.
There you go.
I didn't notice.
The way I screeched.
Yeah, and he wasn't exactly lightly featured. No, I just didn't. I just like, oh, this person's good. Didn't pick up on it.
And I brought this up on the podcast before. I think it is so funny that, Brooks, I am the kind of person that you study. Like, the person who, interacts with media far beyond what is originally intended.
Published work on fan theories and all that.
And that's 99% of what I spend my time doing.
Here's the thing. So, Nandor.
Yes.
Played by
Kayvon Novak.
Kayvon Novak. Have you followed Kayvon Novak back into his early career? Because in the 2000s, he came to prominence in the UK with a show called, I believe, Phonejacker? Yeah, 2006 to 2008, in which he was a character who wore a woolen bobble hat balaclava and did prank phone calls, and that was the entire show, and it was the biggest thing in England for about 6 months, and it still gets referenced by quite a lot of people.
Interesting.
And within it, now obviously he has quite a diverse background. However, he does a lot of what I'm going to broadly term ethnic characters, which I don't know if they will bear to scrutiny today, because I'm pretty sure some of those characters are not the ethnicity that Kayvon Novak is. I think it gets a little uncomfortable.
You do hate to see it.
You do hate to see it. But then again, you don't have to. I like the Mighty Boosh. And then somebody's like, hey, remember when they blacked up for one of their shows? And you're like, you're right, that was on television not that long ago. You know what? At the time, I just thought, oh, look, he's dressed up as a sort of a Jimi Hendrix type. I'm 8, so this is fine. And then you look at it now and go, that's not That's not the colour you are. What's going on here? What's that? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, quick word over in the corner. I know this is 15 years ago, but that's only 15 years ago. And
Yeah.
this... Very strange. But yes, I can... Other than that, if you like Kaivan Novak, I suggest that you go and seek out... There'll be loads of it on YouTube. Yeah, if you like his shtick, he does a character called Terry Tibbs. It's very enjoyable.
Honestly, the person I've gotten most obsessed with, both character-wise and, like, as a comedian from that show, has been Naja/Natasha Demetriou.
She's very good.
She's killing it. Absolutely love her. Also, just
I don't.
Barry.
I haven't really seen anything else she's in. What's she in?
She hasn't
Other than
actually
this
done
thing.
a lot. She did, like, she was on the stand-up circuit for a while.
Oh,
And she
it's got good
just-
right up that Ellie and Natasha thing.
Yeah, like that literally just premiered like yesterday.
I will be giving that a watch.
Oh hell yeah! Again, just gotta
all
get
right.
my nasty American
Jeez.
hands all over it.
She was in Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga.
I've heard that's kind of funny. I haven't watched it.
I think it's all right. I think it's one of those ones where it sounds like it's going to be horseshit, and what it is perfectly fine. But given that it had no need to be anything other than horseshit, you're like, all right, well done.
I don't understand how Netflix can constantly be just knocking it out of the park with their like original series, but they cannot seem to make an original movie to save their lives.
No. I must say, because some of the stuff that's like Netflix is not something they actually made. They've just bought it. And then some stuff is stuff that they've produced. I don't actually understand how it all... I don't actually understand how filmmaking works. What I've realised midway through this sentence, I don't know who actually makes what. Because like Netflix isn't there with cameras. Like, that's not how it works. They'll just buy something off of somebody that's made something. So what makes it a Netflix original beyond the fact that they paid for it? Is that all that means?
I don't think so. I mean,
Because then you
they
just
have
pay
definitely
somebody who
put
makes
their
good
label
films.
on some things, because I know that during like it might have been like the first like quarantine Oscars or whatever, they like that's how Roma got released, was
Oh,
on
fair
Netflix.
enough.
So they like put their label on it. But like Stranger Things, for example, that's definitely like a Netflix is there with cameras type production.
Let's have a look. Netflix original films. Beasts
Really?
of No Nation is supposed to be... I mean, I wouldn't say it's fun.
No,
But it's
I have
well
heard that is
recorded.
like a good film.
Oh
Got
my
the
god, they have
book
made a
yourself?
lot. Oh, is it adapted from a book? I thought it was like a documentary.
No. Well, I mean, it's it's based on a true story. It's like a memoir.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. They made something called First They Killed My Father. Don't know about that.
I love how my sister comes to the house, lets the dog out, and then leaves so that she's just outside barking. I need to go handle this. 2 seconds.
Just an
friends.
agent of chaos. That's
Yeah.
all right. I'm just going to continue to look up
Just
to
keep
see if I
naming
can
movies.
find
I love it.
absolutely banging
Yes, I'm coming, puppy.
The Legacy of a White-tailed Deer Hunter. I don't know.
Oh, wordy.
It's too wordy.
Yeah.
There's one called The Most Assassinated Woman in the World. Now, I would put it to you that you can only be assassinated once.
Unless you're Rasputin.
Unless you're Rasputin. Rah rah, Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine. Isn't it a shame how he carried on? The leading lady's known for being murdered every show on stage. Oh, okay, fine. It's a Sean Bean situation.
Situation handled. Yeah, I gotta say, Agent of Chaos is a pretty solid description of my sister.
Oh, you know what? The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. That was good.
I didn't see that. I heard it was good though.
Very good. I suggest watching it.
Yeah, I've become even more of an insufferable film person now that I've have an official Letterboxd account.
So now you've got an official shop front in which to display your opinions.
Yeah,
Is that what
essentially.
Letterboxd is? Basically, what I reckon about a movie.
Yeah, essentially. It's a social media thing that is literally just movies. What you have watched, what you think about them, and what you want to watch.
Oh god, I found something that I think is going to be very bad. It's called The Last Laugh, and it is a buddy duo road trip film starring Richard Dreyfuss and Chevy Chase as two stand-up comedians. No, a former stand-up comedian who retired from the spotlight 50 years ago reunites with his former manager after being convinced to do one last comedy tour.
Okay.
I can feel from here what a pile of horse shit that will be. Because it's Chevy Chase playing Chevy Chase as Chevy Chase, and that's not a good thing to be.
Yeah, no.
Chevy Chase, the idiot's Bill Murray.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that's a pretty accurate statement.
Ah, here we are. The King. With little Timmy Chalamet.
Oh man, it's trash.
Being all dramatic.
It's like me and Timothy Chalamet.
And critical response 71%.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Respectable. A respectable score, and like a big historical prestige drama with an up and coming Chalamet.
Salamander.
Robert Pattinson, when it became cool to cast him again.
He fascinates me. His career fascinates me in the way that his career was both like jump started and nerfed by Twilight.
Well, he's an interesting. It's very much like what's his tits from Swiss Army Man.
Daniel Radcliffe.
He was in Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe. Similar, sort of like massive films, but films in which people do not look at you and go, "Oh, look, what a great actor," because he's 10 and not very good at it yet. But since then, has very much been like, well, I've made all of the money now,
so I'm just going to do what I want.
I get to just do whatever I want, because I imagine Robert Pattinson, especially by the fourth Twilight film, by the time they're splitting it into two parts, is making $1 billion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's very funny that like Daniel Radcliffe, Robert Pattinson, and Elijah Wood to a degree were the faces of like these insanely popular franchises. And then as soon as they got that paycheck, they were like, all right, I am doing what I want now for the rest of my career. Thank you very much.
I think Elijah Wood is the most what's he doing now one. Because he occasionally pops up in something. Mm-hmm. What did I watch him in recently? He was in something recently. With his little sad, worried face.
He is very good at looking sad and worried.
He's a very strange looking man. Like, when you see just a picture of him out and about, you're like, that's not a person. That's a set of concerned teeth on top of improbable eyes. Let's have a look. He was in something called Come to Daddy.
Nope.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff that's just like...
You've never heard of it.
You've never heard of... And some of it looks like it's bollocks as well.
That's fair.
Yeah, whereas like the rest of them have largely been... No, Daniel Radcliffe's been in some bollocks as well.
Swiss Army
Guns
Man.
Akimbo. Swiss Army Man is a modern classic. Thank you very
It's absolutely... Like, I agree. It's absolutely wonderful.
But it is also a farting
the
corpse
concept
film.
is just so
very...
out there.
He was in Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. That's what I'm thinking of him in. That was fun.
I was gonna say too. Yeah, but I was like, that wasn't that recent.
Yeah, it wasn't that recent. It was 2017 was 5 years ago. Time.
Okay,
Time.
2 of the last years didn't count.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Woods was an active supporter of Bernie Sanders during the 2016 presidential election.
Hell yeah.
He felt the burn. We all felt the burn.
But also, like, let that man...
But ended up...
Let that man rest.
We felt the burn, but it looks like we've ended up in a bind. That's right. That's some solid wordplay right there.
I love that for you.
And you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome for that. Very undirected, I'm going to say, not even satire. It's just referencing the sound of a name of someone famous.
So you exist
I think
as a person on the internet, Tim.
Oh, me? Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the, like, AI image generator memes that have been really having a moment on Twitter?
I've seen the ones that are, yes, you type in like concerned horse and it draws pictures
Yeah.
of what it reckons a concerned horse is. I've not had a go, but I've seen them.
That is our last like thing that we have scheduled here. I want to play around with that, and I have some examples of like the kind of prompts that I would like to give this thing that I'm going to put in the chat here, because I think this could be fun. That's essentially this entire podcast. I think this could be fun.
I reckon this would be a larf.
Essentially. So here are some examples of the kinds of things I'm hoping to see. The personal favorite is the first one. Jesus turning water into wine on America's Got Talent.
So is it just searching images it knows to be related to the phrases and trying to combine them?
I think.
These Hulk teapots are quite something.
Extremely muscular teapot.
Postman Pat winning Wimbledon. A pizza being interviewed on TV news. I have to have a go at this. What is this? Actually, I don't know. I don't even know what I would type into the internet to get to it.
It's called. Here's the.
Send me an Earl.
Just Google
Dull.
that.
Dull E.
Yeah. I have a couple ideas, and I'm trying to
There's
think about
one.
the best way to do this. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Brooks. It does take a couple seconds for it to do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a couple things that I would like to put into the generator that I have written down. Ignore the stationery. My mom bought this for me years ago when the fact that I like British TV was my replacement for a personality in middle school.
So she thought, you like British television and also we're quite basic. Boom!
Yeah,
Take that,
I mean,
keep
I was
calm and insert
extremely,
thing
extremely
here.
basic.
Products. Taking you down a peg or two.
Here,
Do you know where that came from?
it's like the World War One or
It's
two.
it's like an
thingy, right?
unused mock-up they found. Like they were
Yeah.
literally looking through mark-up, and it wasn't even ever used. It was just a thing that somebody wrote down as an idea, never used officially, and then they found it and were like, "Well, this isn't licensed, so I'm going to make £1 billion from it." I've typed in overexcited lemons, and it's working on it.
Please send whatever image this comes up with.
How long does it normally take?
Like a minute.
Okay, we're counting 55 seconds.
Yeah. I have some idea. Maybe I should. What if I screen share this while we?
I tried out a bunch earlier. I don't think any of them took longer than 2 minutes, but
Cool.
it seems to be.
I'm willing to wait for my excitable lemons. I also need to understand its limitations in terms of wording, because like it's
Yeah.
overexcited.
Although the other day I did type in Paul Atreides from Dune at Gay Pride and got some solid results.
Some solid results. Well, that was because that was pre-made. They had those in the can already.
You think?
A classic collection of Pride Atreides. Absolutely.
All right, that's fair. All right, let me screen share for y'all because I.
Oh, here we are. Oh, you know what? One of them works.
I'm gonna start with funeral at an airport.
Hang on, I want to.
Because one of my favorite ones that I've seen was, I believe. Turn that off to save bandwidth. I don't know.
I actually
That's the
did a.
Oh, what'd you get? You if you hit take screenshot, it'll like save the image to your computer, and you can like put it in the chat if you want. And obviously, I will be like providing links to all of these for the people.
I did a similar prompt earlier that was just angry turnip.
Oh, it's still thinking. Okay, give this.
Oh, perfect. And I love that they're very like rights-free clip art turnips as well.
Oh, I like these. These are fun. Wait, what happens if I still, like, hardly know how to use Discord, which is really embarrassing at this point, but...
Alright, I'm gonna go for fire at a children's party.
A good one I saw was a knife fight at a retirement home. What if I put this over here? Will that make life easier for me? Will it do what I want then? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I know how to do things. Why is it still thinking? This one's taking forever. It's making me sad. So what are we now currently working on? What are we attempting to generate?
I'm 42 seconds into fire at a children's party. Hang on. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
But the thing is, it just looks like sad news.
It does, actually. You're so right.
It just looks like unfortunate news.
Yeah. Ooh, whoopsies. That's kind of...
Sorry, I didn't mean to pop the fun balloon on that one.
No, you're fine.
It looks too real. Just seems like something that might happen.
Yeah, actually, you're so right.
I mean, and you know what? I've suddenly thought fire at a children's party might turn the same way on me. Could be.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Actually, what I want to put in though is Cardinal Fang.
Oh, okay. Because I'm guessing it's going to be.
We might just get a bird with teeth.
Yeah, or indeed the actual, because Cardinal Fang is a character, is a name of a character from Monty Python.
How did I not know that?
I didn't know either. When we recorded the episode, I did not know that. He's one of the No One Expects the Spanish Inquisition sketch. He is Terry Gilliam. Is Cardinal Fang.
All right.
Oh, okay. We've got fire at a children's party. You know what? It sits somewhere between terrible news and a screenshot from a horror film. So let's
share that.
Let's share that with the group. Ooh, on keyboard.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, that does
Like
look very...
it's a little Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit more signs, sort of like found footage like Billy, no!
Or like little Midsummer.
Your little Midsummer. It's very midsummery.
Just not during the day. Like I feel like if it were to be like midsummer, it couldn't be at night. I'm still waiting on the Cardinal Fang one, but the one I have after this, I'm very excited to see. What is that?
What's the
Hulk doing origami? Oh no, you just got an origami Hulk.
It's Hulkagami.
He's kind of cute. I like the first one. It's kind of adorable.
He's pretty close as well. I'm going more abstract. I don't know if that means I'll just get random pictures. I've gone with Unfortunate Horse.
I saw one that was like a horse doing a burnout, like on a car.
I feel like maybe it will perform better with specific instructions. Oh, there's a bird.
Giving me a bird.
There's just a bird.
All right, let's try Jesus Christ in drag.
I mean, those robes, it's not a long step.
It really isn't. One of my favorite ones that I've seen so many of these, because I found an account on Twitter that's just like weird dolly generations. And one of them was like Fisher Price, like my first bong.
Oh, God.
CCTV footage of Jesus stealing a bike.
These Unfortunate Horse images are... You know what? I think they've actually nailed it, because like there's nothing like wrong with the horses,
They're just sad.
but they do feel unfortunate. Like especially like there's like the one in the bottom right that's just sort of looking down like, oh man.
Yeah, no.
Oh, jeez.
I get what you mean. It does evoke such a specific emotion while very clearly just being a horse.
Right, I'm going really oblique.
Hit me with it.
A house with not enough rooms. What does it think that is? What does it think not enough rooms for a house is?
Actually, yeah. This is
What does
kind
it?
of,
What does it think? What would it regard as not enough rooms for a house? Because I've lived in a bedsit where
Yeah.
it's a kitchen and a bedroom and then not even a bathroom because that's down the hallway. Is that not enough rooms for a house?
We'll find
I suppose
out.
it's a flat or an apartment as you people would know it.
Yeah, sorry.
You people with your different words.
I still
I
laugh
won't
about that
stand for
episode that we did with Emily and Ben. That was just the four of us screaming over what things were called for like 2 hours.
What things are different in different countries?
Yeah.
We don't think anyone else has noticed this.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
This one is
It's
really,
the gift that keeps on
really
giving.
thinking.
Yeah, I'm on 60 seconds of a horse or house. What's a horse without enough rooms?
I don't know. I'm on 93 seconds for Jesus Christ in drag.
Big questions. Big questions.
Big questions indeed. Zach came up with a couple good ones that I think we should do. That I think we're gonna have to do.
Go on.
The podcast next week when he's actually there. Because one of the things he sent to the chat was Jesus Christ Super Czar. Like,
Jesus
Russian
Christ.
Emperor.
Bizarre.
And
Better than Nicholas II by far.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
top
not what I
right, top
wanted.
right. No, thank you. What's going on there? Why is it Five Nights at Freddy's?
no, you're
Five
so
Nights-
right. Why is it Five Nights at Freddy's?
It's you're running a children's haunted pizza parlor,
What
but
if-
Jesus
okay,
Christ in drag
Jesus
has tried to
Christ
kill you.
as a drag queen. Let's try that.
Oh, okay. So I've just got pictures of living rooms.
Interesting. I am
No,
genuinely
pictures-
so fascinated by how it like decides what it's going to do.
Pictures. You know what? Pictures of living rooms that have beds in them, which is in a way
Not
quite a
enough
good
rooms.
representation of not enough rooms.
Hmm.
Hang on, I'll share with that. I'll share with the group just so you can also see.
I love it.
It's sort of
Okay.
like blurry, kind of not Picasso, Van Gogh-esque.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Images.
lower left one really looks
It
like
feels,
Van
it
Gogh paint.
very much feels like a weird Van Gogh thing. Sorry, Van Gogh. I was chastised by someone Dutch.
Oh, we just say
Van-
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Have
we're
you
idiots.
seen? Now, I just want to check. Have you seen the newest Van Gogh? That's what you sound like to me, you Americans.
Is that
That's what you
really what I
all
sound like? Oh my god.
Hi there. I'm an American.
How do you
This is-
listen to us?
That's not how any of you sound. That's
I know-
how
well, 'cause
somebody.
I know a lot of our TV and movie, like there's quite a bit of exchange between the TV and movies for like the British and Americans specifically. Like, how do you listen to us?
Well, you know what? After a while, you stop noticing it, and actually, it's quite jarring when a British person turns up. Like you're watching a program where everyone talks normal, and then somebody rocks up and goes, "Hello there, I'm in the show now. Here, what you done?
Okay,
very weird.
this is what I was
That's
talking about.
That's better."
I think top left is probably my favorite.
Yeah, top left or top right.
I would agree. Now I'm just trying to come up with something on the fly because that's the last thing that I had written down.
I'm currently going a Viking taking off like a rocket.
I'm gonna put ABBA on trial for war crimes.
Nuremberg ABBA.
Yeah. Somebody did like a Triceratops running at the 1964 Olympics. That was very interesting.
I did see that. Jackie Chan on a skateboard. You know what? Again, top left.
That's pretty solid. For an
Pretty
AI
good.
generated image, that is not bad.
Although I do like how long some of these skateboards has become.
The
Yeah.
one in the center almost looks like he has two separate ones, like one under each
He
foot.
does. He does have two.
I mean, and he would do that because he's a stunt
He
man.
would do that. He could do it. I also find it strange that, like, so, you know, speaking of everything everywhere all at once, I didn't realise until relatively late on that Michelle Yeoh is the same Michelle Yeoh from, like, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
I haven't actually
And, like,
seen that movie,
from,
but I assumed it was the same person.
yeah, so, like, she's a proper Hong Kong, early days, old school Hong Kong action film star. with Jackie, who like did loads of Jackie Chan films, and there's footage of her very nearly dying during stunts because that's how. Like, I think she rolls off a truck onto the front of a car.
Jesus.
She smashes through the windscreen, but like not fully, gets knocked off. Jackie Chan catches her as she falls out of the car, and then doesn't fully get hold of her, and then just sort of has to deposit her on the ground.
Bro.
And it's real bad. Oh, these are quite good. Okay, some of these are quite good. Some of them are just rockets with hats, but some of them.
I'm so excited.
There's one of them where there's a rocket sort of like morphing out of the hat. Some of them, the Vikings are just looking on as
Oh my
rockets
God.
launch. One of them is a rocket launching out of the top of a Viking stronghold. The middle one is a ship, like a Viking ship, sort of exploding whilst a rocket
Yeah.
comes out. I'm quite enjoying it.
This thing is so fun. Like, I've seen, like, someone did, like, 12th Doctor at Gay Pride, Nandor the Relentless with a flamethrower, which is the last thing he should have. This ABBA on trial for war crimes is taking probably the longest thus far.
I'm gonna try, and I might not share this depending on how it turns out. Well, hang on. Let's have a look here. But
Confused turtle. Yeah, no.
And there's a couple of ways in which sometimes the turtle is confused, sometimes you're confused by the turtle.
Precisely.
They have skinny heads. Why is there a frog in some of them?
Why? Why indeed? These are the questions
What's
that vex
the
us.
prompt you're trying that might backfire on you?
I'm seeing if it can generate the impossible.
Okay.
Can it generate a sexy prime minister?
Interesting.
Because not since the prime twink himself, Pitt the Younger, have we had a sexy prime.
We just got ABBA.
Cucumber Pirate is strong. I'm liking
love it.
Cucumber Pirate. I'm detecting a couple of courgette pirates sneaking in there, but it all still counts.
I'll say that counts.
Did you get? Oh, hang on. They look like they're just at a concert.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
just
a-
ABBA.
That's not a tribunal.
It's just ABBA.
Unless by war crimes they mean their face has gone strange.
Yeah, or like their clothes are war crimes, which I disagree with. Their outfits bang.
No.
What else? I'm like looking around my own room for inspiration of just like weird items that I could have doing things or whatever.
So
This
much
is.
fun.
There's never been a more visual medium for a podcast. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. Now, it's worked out that a prime minister is, generally speaking, a middle-aged white man with a sensible haircut. But what it's generated is sort of like cursed horror people.
Interesting.
Sort of with it's the kind of thing where you'd find a photo of them in a horror film, and that's what you'd find just before you were murdered.
Yeah.
It feels there's a bit of the John Wayne Gacy going on.
You're actually so right.
Like these people have made their faces from other people's skin.
Yeah. Alright, I want to come up with one more good one. Like one more like super weird entertaining one.
Okay, I'm
Also
going
talking
with
about the ABBA one is like they're pretty much just regular pictures of ABBA. So
Yeah,
why do they
it's
look so
just ABBA.
like why couldn't they just but why couldn't they make them look more normal and just pull regular pictures? That's what they did.
who do we write to ask?
I have
Dear
absolutely
AI
no idea.
generator, why oh why could you not simply have found a picture of ABBA in a doc?
Yeah, I actually have
I've-
no idea. I know nothing about how AI works whatsoever, and frankly, I'd like to keep it that way because it entertains me more.
It seems better. I've gone with dogs boxing cats. Because surely.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, here's what I was actually I just thought back to the funeral at an airport thing. I was hoping to see like not like, you know, an actual like, oh, a casket is being carried to a plane because this historical figure has died. I was hoping to see like a casket on a baggage cart. Or,
Yes.
like at the luggage claim.
Well, in which case, I think coffin at luggage reclaim is your friend.
Ooh. Do that. Coffin at...
Was it baggage reclaim?
At
Whatever.
baggage claim.
It'll be the American term that it pulls on most likely. Right, we're at 80 seconds for dogs boxing cats. Now, I hope it isn't dogs putting cats in boxes, because that wouldn't be my
That'd
intent.
be kind of funny.
It would be kind of funny, but it wouldn't be what I asked for. I suppose it'd be a very monkey's paw version of what I asked for. Like, ah, you should have checked your wording.
Yeah.
Now you only have 2 wishes left. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
We got what we
Yeah,
wanted.
this is just solid work.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
One, the dog is just punching itself in the face, which would be a very dog thing to do.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I wanted.
There you go.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Also, other two that inspired this were McFuneral, like a funeral at a McDonald's, and a funeral at Walmart. Were other image generation prompts that I saw, and I was like, I want to create something similar to that. So that's definitely getting saved. I could do this literally all night.
But it is 10 past midnight where
Yeah.
I am.
I am aware that it is much later where you are, so...
And on a school night as well.
Ooh, uh-oh.
I've got algebra in the morning.
Ew, gross.
And by algebra, I mean my real job.
Love that for you. Well, yeah, no, we can definitely wrap this up. But it's technically... Actually, it's weird. It's not a quote-unquote school night for me, because I have Wednesday through Friday off, because...
Oh, get you flash bastard.
I mean... the working Saturdays and Sundays part isn't all that fun.
That's not the actions of a flash bastard.
Cause
Is that a phrase that translates?
I
being a
don't
flash
think it
bastard?
is.
No, okay.
Cat leading a cult.
Didn't turn out as I hoped. But the cats
We
are
can
very
try this on
haunted.
our own time. I'd try like cult leader cat or like
Not
cat.
really. Yeah,
cult
sort of like
leader.
I've just put in "don't get in my face" to see what happens.
Okay, I'm interested.
I'm on 72 seconds. I think it's going to be my last one. I've got high hopes.
I like it.
Yeah, I kept trying on different ones, but they just weren't working as I'd hoped.
Yeah, I feel like there's a very specific like balance of like open-ended and specific that you have to strike. Like you got to give it something to work with, but it can't be so specific that's going to come up with nothing.
Yeah, specific imagery with an open-ended application.
Yeah.
So, like, cucumber pirate is like great because cucumbers, pirates.
Things
But
that
is the
can be
cucumber a
combined.
pirate? Is it a pirate that's made of There's different things. Okay, don't get in my face again is quite Cronenberg-esque actually. I think it's
I'm here for it.
it feels like modern art that would be entitled
Oh.
"Don't Get in My Face."
Actually, yeah, you're so right.
Like there's hands melting into faces. There's a face on face. There's lots of faces on faces.
You could definitely get some very solid horror movie imagery from this. Oh, what do we got?
Oh, hang on. Yes.
Yeah,
That's a good
okay.
call.
Like the one on the pedestal in the lower right.
Yeah,
That's what
and
I'm
top
thinking.
left with sort of this little sort of caftan scarf thing.
I would say this was a success,
I'd say
Yeah.
this was. I'd say
in
it's a
my
rip
personal
roaring
opinion,
success.
and I am definitely planning on making this a regular podcast thing, whether or not this continues to be a hot meme, just because I think it's really entertaining. Oh, are we waiting on? You were like Tim. You were looking like you were like waiting on one of them.
If I'm honest, I closed create the thing, and it went to the landing page of Twitter, and I'm not logged in, so it's just showing random tweets because it's got nothing to go on. And the top comment that it's displaying to me on just base I don't know who you are Twitter is, I met a meth addict who once told me they owned well over 250 different fleshlights. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that?
You know, that's a great note for us to end on.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful note for us to end on.
Too many.
Yeah, I'm gonna say too many.
Too many. One's a stretch.
Unless you're a collector.
Unless it's historical fleshlights. I'm so sorry to have somehow brought down the tone of this show. I don't know how I've managed that, but I do.
I don't think you have. I think you've elevated it.
It's just the accent.
I think I mean, if that is all it takes, good.
Lord Quimperley would like to show you his fleshlight collection on the south veranda.
Oh my god. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm just getting a bunch of ideas for, like, super explicit prompts I could put in to the image generator that I'm not gonna do.
You can do that in your own time.
Yeah, do that on my own time. Or, you know what, that'll be like some milestone stream or whatever. If people actually start subscribing to us, we'll put really explicit prompts into the image generator and see what we get.
Yeah, try and get yourself taken off the internet just as things start to peak.
That'd be, honestly, that's a thing that would happen to me. Alright, but yes, Tim, thank you so much for coming back for a third time. It's
my pleasure.
Greatly appreciated, always fun.
I look forward to my eventually constructed, I'm going to say, pillowcase. Or flag. I don't know what it is. I was only shown it flat.
It's only one piece of fabric.
Flag then. That's a flag.
Yeah, call it.
Flag.
I was gonna maybe put it in a frame.
Frame? Yeah. Well, that makes it harder to ship. I'd ship it just fabric, and I can frame it in my country, because otherwise you're going to have to pay to ship a frame with glass in it, and that will end poorly for you. Whereas this, you can fold it real small and get away with quite a cheap send.
Because I was thinking about trying to find like a embroidery hoop type frame that would fit it, but I couldn't find like an oval one that was the right shape that you would see all of the design. I don't know. Yeah. It turned into a whole thing.
Whole thing, but it does involve the excellent phrase an embroidery hoop, which I find endlessly charming.
Oh, I have several of those. I have quite a few of those.
Excuse me, are you aware I have several embroidery hoops?
Yeah, no.
There's something about the word hoop.
It's old lady craft city between the two of us. The constant knitting, the like cross stitching like an old granny. It's great.
Knitting, crochet, puzzles.
Yeah.
Going to bed at 9. All of these things.
Quilting table over there.
Yeah.
Right over there. I can see the edge of a little sewing machine. Look at it.
I go to bed at 9 because I have to get up at 6 o'clock for work.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, it's prematurely grandma city over here.
New to CBS, premature grandma. Tonight at 11.
Love it. All right, yes. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again. You are always welcome back. And to anyone who might be watching this, friends, thank you for fighting with us. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will be back again next week. Adios.
Goodbye!
This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly and Dr. Sarah Brooks, featuring special guest Tim Meredith. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98, at AndSarahSaid, and at StellarTim. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature, or consider donating to our Patreon. Thanks for listening!